If I had to say one thing that I love the most about YouTube as a platform, it's the diversity in its communities. You got your Let's Players, your makeup artists, your commentary YouTubers, like me, toy channels, movie reviews, show reviews, game reviews, reviews in general. You've got a lot of communities on YouTube. It's a very diverse place in the type of content you can find. Sometimes you want to sit down and watch the funny guy with glasses get jump scared by a JPEG in a video game. No! Or maybe you want to see the other guy with glasses get angry at a video game while he's reviewing said video game.
I want to tell you the story of the creature from the vegetable soup, but I won't do that because I don't want to bother you with a story that has nothing to do with your adventure.
I want to know! You don't just tell me about a creature from a vegetable soup and leave me hanging here!
YouTube has the answer to everything. It has everything you want. You just gotta look hard enough sometimes, but if you do, you'll find something that you'll love, no matter how niche. However, in the mountains of content you can find on YouTube, among the gold, sometimes you're gonna find a lot of copper. A community of people that are so underground that they're not underground. A community that is considered both niche and not niche at the same time. And overall, to me, and in the eyes of many, are considered an anomaly of sorts on the internet. What am I talking about exactly? Well, dear viewer, I am talking about users. I've touched a little bit on users in the past, especially last year when I looked at a few controversial figures in what I called the physical media community, but since then I've come to realize that that name doesn't really fit with these people because users really don't fit into any community. The reason they are called users, as a matter of fact, is because they don't really fit to one fandom. They're a complete hodgepodge of things. They can like all forms of media, but the further you go down into the community, the more you look at it, the more people you discover, the quicker you'll realize that a lot of these people act the same. It's almost scary, but you're gonna quickly realize through this video that it's actually all not that bad. The vibe of this intro may be throwing you off, but I swear that there's a lot of good here. There is some good here that I'm gonna really get into because I actually love some of the things about this community. But there is also a lot of bad, which we will have to talk about. But until then, we're gonna start off good, we're gonna go to the bad, and then we're gonna just reflect on things. Because it's been about a year since I last looked at anything related to this, and since then, I've kind of put it off to the wayside because it actually takes a lot of mental fortitude to cover this community. So join me, viewer, as on this episode of The Puff Perspective, we go on a little dive into the good, the bad, and the ugly of the userverse.
Time for another opinion video.
Time to take a piss! Hi, everybody! What the fuck?!
This is an episode that you want to enjoy it.
How many of you know what peak fiction is? It's okay if you don't, because we're gonna get into that real quick. If I had to describe what I'm about to show to you in any way, it would have to be beautiful chaos. That's it. Beautiful fucking chaos. NickCheezy is a YouTuber boasting over 22,000 subscribers who makes all kinds of stuff. A lot of what he posts can be considered typical user slop. Users are known for uploading many things, mostly cartoon clips, memes, stuff like that, usually involving very, very old media. And NickCheezy isn't too different. He will upload clips of cartoons, commercials, he'll upload voiceovers, memes, all that kind of jazz.
Can't get enough of that sugar, Chris. 'Cause I am the mighty Pope. The mighty Pope, what the fuck?
But if you were to ask me, the greatest thing that you can find on the NickCheezy YouTube channel is an original creation by NickCheezy himself. One of the greatest pieces of fiction you will ever watch in your entire life. With characters that outrival Breaking Bad and storylines that outrival The Sopranos, you will be very surprised to watch what is quite possibly the greatest story ever told by man. And of course I'm talking about the NickCheezy Show. The NickCheezy Show, or as I and many others like to call it, the Peak Cheesy Show, is a show created by NickCheezy and featured heavily on his YouTube channel. The show follows the titular NickCheezy, a self-insert character, along with the various other characters that he interacts with as they go on little adventures throughout their little, I actually don't really know how to describe it. There's a lot of weird environments in this and they're all made in MS Paint. Alongside NickCheezy, you have a cast of very colorful characters such as Quincy Washington, Liquid Nick, who is like Nick, except he has red glasses and blue pants, and he's also evil.
I'm evil.
Now you're probably thinking, well, I've never heard of this. This has to be something new on the block. This has to be something that just came out recently, right? There's no way that this has been going on for a long. The show's been going on for 5 years. Yeah, no, you're probably about as surprised as I was to find that out. Not only that, but it has almost 130 episodes, which is quite impressive, I must say. The show's got a lot. It's got animation, it's got story, it's got quite a few different art styles. There was one episode in particular I saw during the recording of this, where towards the end it switches to a 3D rendition of the scene from The Book of Life, where the main character, whose name I can't remember, is singing Radiohead. Although due to copyright, the cover of Radiohead is incredibly distorted, but honestly, I think it adds to the charm because it just sounds like this.
But I'm more creative. Oh, my weirdo.
Quite frankly, from what I've shown you alone, this should be enough to tell you that this is quite possibly the greatest piece of fiction ever created by a human. It's got stakes, it's got humor, it's especially got humor. There's some jokes in here.
Oh, thank you. Wait, aren't you the same guy I saw? Yeah, I'm a cameo in this episode.
Quite frankly, I gotta give Nick credit. This is definitely something that he's passionate about, because this has been going on for 5 years, and according to the wiki, it says he's 17. He's been doing this since he was fucking 13. You know what I was doing when I was 13? I was playing Minecraft and getting yelled at by adults on Call of Duty. Meanwhile, Nick was writing banger jokes like this.
You don't want to fall on your rear cheeks. I'm a minor queen, so you're so weird. Are you trying to be like Carson?
I shit you not, I watched the pilot episode for the first time while I was recording, and they do these things in the episodes where they make commercial breaks, and I shit you not, in the pilot episode, the commercial break is just a one-to-one recreation of the Proto-Gent ad. The two biggest differences being the animation is subpar, and fucking Oswald from Oswald is in here. Like, good thing that NickCheezy knows ball.
Antivirus is not enough. You need Proto-Gent.
The only other big thing I can say about NickCheezy that I'm sure you noticed, and I've been beating around the bush, but the big thing about NickCheezy is that the only thing original about this series is the writing. A lot of aspects about the show, notably the characters and a lot of the music, are just either traced pieces of artwork from existing cartoons, like notably Fairly Odd Parents, The Amazing World of Gumball, a whole lot of other things, and especially the soundtrack. Notably, one of the show's most infamous intros, which is a personal favorite of mine, which has a song that is just straight up taken from the Patrick Star Show. Like, not even altered or anything like that. Like, word for word, it is the Patrick Star Show intro. It's a decent cover, but, I mean, I guess that still doesn't excuse the fact that it is just taken word for word.
Hey, wake up! The show is starting!
You wake up one day and say, hey world, you know me, what can you show me? And suddenly you're smirk in your face, I'm a best friend forever, together doing never-ending best moment ever now.
I've seen enough, give the show an Emmy. Now, do I think the series is actually bad? Do I think that the creator deserves to be harassed? No, what are you talking about? No, we are not here to harass people. Let's get this thing very, very straight, alright? I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody in this video. I'm not trying to send people after anyone. In fact, the only thing I'm going to send after NickCheezy is a lot of love, alright? NickCheezy quite possibly might be the most wholesome creator in this community that I have seen personally. No drama, no controversy, nothing like that. I mean, apart from the tracing and, stealing things, that's bad. Every single person who has an art degree that hasn't served them in any way since graduating college is going to be very upset about that. But if you were to ask me, I think NickCheezy deserves some more love. I think he deserves more attention. So if you're going to do anything after watching this video, you should go subscribe, watch some of his show, watch some of his antics. It's just silly. It's just something to just have a little fun with. It's not something that I would say is something to really look too deeply into. It's just a little silly cartoon made by a silly guy who likes to just be a little silly. Nothing wrong with that. I give NickCheezy 10 out of 10. Some of the jokes were actually pretty funny.
These are super fast Yeezys.
Super fast CCs are now only for $19.99.
Time to take a piss. What the hell are you doing?
Okay, so for this one, we go from talking about the GOAT to talking about something a little bit more sus. BlazeTheMovieFan was an Icelandic YouTuber who operated for many, many years, and during that time, he managed to gain some notoriety. He created a series of videos that blew up audio-wise, such as the famous Alex the Lion audio clip.
Alex the Lion? What the hell are you doing in my car?
Or my personal favorite, Mario taking a piss.
Time to take a piss. What the hell?
He spread through word of mouth a lot, and I should know because the first place I ever heard about this guy was fucking Oni Plays. We like Oni Plays in this house, right?
You were streaming, and Chris gave you squirches, and you had a deergasm.
What the fuck did you just say?
But overall, Blaze had a very considerable career on YouTube during this time. Despite how, like, objectively bad his skits looked, people didn't really say anything, like, actually negative about them. If anything, BlazeTheMovieFan could be considered one of those things where it's so fucking bad, you actually love it. I'm showing it on screen right now, but it got to the point where a filmmaker on YouTube got in contact with Blaze and paired up with him to make this actually decent little short film called Blaze the Movie. It's got good production value, and despite that, it still has the perfect dialogue and writing of a typical Blaze the Movie fan skit.
Great day at the Jelly Bean Factory. Now I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my Burger King.
The film follows Blaze walking home from his long day of work to eat his Whopper and proceeds to get verbally assaulted by the Squirtle he lives with, who also managed to eat the Whopper. I'm not kidding, most of the lines from the Squirtle are just verbally harassing Blaze, and it's kind of funny.
There's nothing in the Pokemon handbook that condones food stealing.
Listen, asshole, you eat Burger King 6 times a day. Why don't you steal a gym membership?
The two then proceed to get in a fight on the bed, creating more gay tension than Brokeback Mountain. The scene cuts to a little bit later as Blaze is ready to apologize and discovers that Squirtle has succumbed to his wounds and sits on the bed sad that he has killed his best friend over a Whopper. And while there is a lot of good I'd like to say about Blaze, while there are a lot of videos I'd like to go find and talk about, unfortunately I can't do that because as of 5 months ago, apparently, BlazeTheMovieFan is no more. His YouTube, his original uploads, all of his social media is just gone off the internet. Why, you ask? Well, I wish I could give you a straight answer on that, but so far I've only found 2 potential reasons. The first is that he was the victim of a massive hate campaign that made him delete everything off the internet for his own safety. And I mean, this is pretty much a given. You know, severely mentally disabled man making silly little skits online, you're gonna attract a lot of people that just want to poke fun at you. You know, they want to get a reaction, they want to bully you. It's a given in a community like this. A community that's constantly full of drama, and people just going back and forth. Eventually, you will get targeted, and people are going to keep harassing you until you literally just can't take it anymore. And while that may be the reason that I think is most plausible, the second one, which I could barely find much concrete evidence on, considering everything is pretty much gone off the internet, is kind of dark. Allegedly, according to some people, Blaze was grooming a child, which I can't say I'm shocked that someone threw grooming allegations at this guy, but at the same time, there were definitely times on Blaze's channel that you could definitely think that, yeah, there's something sus going on. The most notable example that I can find is a re-uploaded video of his, which is simply titled "That One Infamous BlazeTheMovieFan Video Where the Powerpuff Girls Lust for Him." Now, I'm sorry to say, but I genuinely don't think I can show you this video. I watched it in its entirety, and it is exactly what it sounds like. The plot of the video is simple. BlazeTheMovieFan goes into the Powerpuff Girls TV show, goes to the city of Townsville where he finds Mojo Jojo attacking the Powerpuff Girls. He then proceeds to shoot Mojo Jojo in the head. He survives, retreats, and this leads to the Powerpuff Girls stripping naked and wanting to fuck Blaze. What the fuck? And when I say none of this was censored, like they actually did this in the video, I mean it. They fucking get naked in the video. Blaze then proceeds to say, you know, that's fucked up, don't do that, put your clothes back on, I'm gonna leave, and does just that. But you see, the thing is, you can't just do that. According to the description of the re-upload, he didn't think that making jokes about such a thing was that bad, which, if we're going off the other reason of him going off of social media because he apparently groomed a child, that makes a lot of sense for him. But at the same time, the description also mentions that he deleted everything because he was afraid of Elon Musk antagonizing him.
What?
Either way, no matter how you look at it, this video is definitely probably the biggest blemish he ever uploaded onto the internet. If you want to go find it and watch it for yourself, it's out there, it's very easy to find, it's uploaded on YouTube, like, uncensored. But apart from that, you know, BlazeTheMovieFan, he's a mixed bag. On one hand, you know, he uploads very unintentionally hilarious skits, but at the same time, there may or may not be some darker stuff going on behind the scenes. Either way, he's off the internet, he's not uploading anymore, which you can both say is the end of an era and the end to potentially a very negative situation. And I've said it many times before in the past, but negativity and drama is a very big issue with the userverse as a whole. I still stand by what I said in many of my previous videos about this similar topic, but a lot of the people in this community just are all over each other. They have their teeth in each other's necks, they're ripping chunks out of each other. It's a real mess. And with a community as drama-filled as the userverse, there have to be people to document these things. There need to be people tracking the bad people, documenting everything they're doing, and make a little video about it to, inform the public. Now me, that would never be me because I do not have that much time, but there was one person in the community who did do this. He was considered a legend in the userverse. He was considered a hero, but nowadays, to the many users who once saw him as a god, he is now seen as a fallen hero, a villain in the eyes of many. I am, of course, talking about fellow commentary YouTuber, The Perfect Citizen. The Perfect Citizen is a commentary YouTuber here on YouTube, boasting over 10k subs. He does videos about numerous topics, most notably his most recent achievement was talking about a comedian that 4chan made blow up out of nowhere, along with talking about the Burger King crown guy, 10-plus-year-old videos getting picked up by the algorithm. He does all sorts of essays about all sorts of topics. But before he made videos like these, he made videos about the userverse, or as he called it, the physical media community. Unfortunately, with his shift to making actual good video essays, a lot of his videos from this time period are no longer available for viewing, apart from re-uploads or the occasional playlist that may have an unlisted video or two inside. But it was through these videos that the Perfect Citizen made a name for himself, especially among users, because he would go after the worst of the worst in their eyes. Going after characters like Dan Sobel or Eric Payton netted him a big number of fans from the user community. Fans who he kind of still has to this day, well, not to the extent that he used to. Because after a while of going over characters like this, he would go through quite the tumultuous story arc. Attracting numerous users like this means that you kind of get stuck in a loop of making content, because look, you have an audience, but now you have to appease that audience, and these people are so fucking hard to appease. You constantly have to be talking about the newest villain of the week in their eyes, and if you even say something that makes it sound like you are defending their actions in any other way, no matter how minuscule, you're gonna get hung. Because eventually he deleted every single video talking about the userverse and began to upload, actual video essays about very obscure and, niche topics. And even though he was no longer talking about the userverse, the users still remained, they supported his content, they watched, but they would always talk about, oh, when are you gonna come back to talking about this? Are you gonna talk about this guy? Hey, this guy just said he likes kids, I think you should make a video about him. Honestly, I understand why he deleted all of his content about these people, because if I had to deal with people 24/7 who uploaded content like this,
Show us porn in the class.
I think I'd feel like I have brain damage too. And this eventually led to the Perfect Citizen opening up his Discord server, and once all the users flooded in and started asking him about, oh, are you gonna make content about this person, he just flat out said no. And when he was pressured into doing this, and when he was questioned on whether or not he actually liked the people that he was talking about, he jokingly said yes. This opened Pandora's box. The users were driven into a rampage. Videos condemning the Perfect Citizen were made en masse. People called him out. People made fun of him. People said they were unsubscribing and cutting ties with him. It was an absolute nightmare. Entire channels were created dedicating to hating the man and even using his real name, which, granted, he did give them out of the kindness of his heart. But even then, they are latched onto that like it's crack. And just like that, in under 24 hours, all of the goodwill that the Perfect Citizen had built with this community had crumbled. He was a hero turned villain, and they were not happy about it one bit. And if there's one thing you can take away from the story of the Perfect Citizen, it's that this community really isn't worth talking about. Really, the only thing you should take away from this video is that the userverse is a community that really should just be left to fester on its own. It's not something a normal user of YouTube should really give much attention to, because if you try to give it attention, it's gonna latch onto you like a parasite, you're never gonna get away from it, and the people that it brings into your community are just never gonna go away. It's quite disturbing. Is it a very interesting community? Yes, there is quite a lot of stuff you can look at here and piece together. The psychology of how all these users act, because truly they all really act the same. If you've seen one, you've seen them all. The content they make, the things they say, the things they do. There's interesting stuff here. It's so hard to piece together. Enjoy going on hours or even days-long scavenger hunts trying to piece the lore of each character together because it's literally everywhere, and you're not going to get anything very concrete. This is somehow a community that throws more pedophile allegations around than fucking Twitter. And as I've said many times in my previous videos about this community, there are no good guys. Everyone in this community are either extremely mentally ill or are just fucking degenerates. It's literally the biggest example of pot calling the kettle black in this community. So you can see as to why I didn't want to go back into this community. But I made a special exception for this video because it has almost been a year since I really took a little exploration into it, and I figured, hey, why not? It could be entertaining for us all. And in that pursuit, I discovered some real gems. So if there's anything at all that you can take away from this video that is even remotely positive, it's NickCheezy. So just for the fact that he was extremely entertaining, I'm gonna put his channel in the description. If you want to go see the NickCheezy show for yourself, go down in the description and take a look. It's quite an interesting series, I must say so myself. Nick, please make me a character in your show. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it. I'm gonna go take off my hazmat suit and get out of this war zone, and I'm gonna go take a little rest. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, sub, comment, add it to a playlist or something, I don't know. Show some love, and until next time, everybody, I will see you on the flip side. Peace out.
Got up this morning, was